Let me move this out of the way. Welcome to our second workshop on Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming. I am getting my camera right. Tonight I'm going to be talking about Dreamwork key skills. Let me go live really quick over here on Instagram as well. See if I can get that going. Oh, it says I have to update the app. Of course, last minute. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to include chapter notes in the caption below. Update. So while that's going, download. Okay, it's not going to work. We're going to just keep it rolling over here. So let me join in here on YouTube, so that I can see all the comments and everything. You already know I need a few seconds to get this thing rolling. Go ahead and grab your pens, papers, notebooks, tablets, whatever you are going to need, as well as pulling up your intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workbook. You're absolutely going to need that this evening. If you do not have that, you are going to be quite upset. It has everything that you need to get things rolling. I'm going to quickly go through housekeeping and get this thing started. So housekeeping item number one, as always, is going to be interaction. If you have any questions, comments, experiences, go ahead and drop those in the comment section. You know that added information, that added conversation can really expand what we're doing here. And of course, the information and the practices and everything that I'm giving this evening are very nuanced. So if you do have questions, I do not want you to be confused on the other side of the screen. So do not be afraid to interact or engage with me. Ask me any questions. Of course, I'm going to be asking you all questions as we roll along. My second housekeeping item is going to be, please go ahead and give this video a like. Once you give this video a like, that is a free way to support me and what I do. And of course, sharing is caring. Just like you're trying to grow, I'm trying to grow. If you know a friend, family member, loved one who is interested in dream work, who's interested in lucid dreaming, self-care and personal development, do not be a hater. Go ahead and share this video with them, okay? Let me keep track of my time as well. I'm going to say housekeeping started at 2 minutes. Let's see, you will want the Dreamwork workbook that we are working from. We're going to be working from this work. It actually contains 2 workbooks, and we're going to be working from it for the next 2 to 3 months. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the comment section. Go ahead and grab this. It's basically 20 bucks, y'all. That's cheaper than lunch. It contains all the activities, exercises, content, information that we're going to be going through, as well as links to external resources, guided meditations, studies, all of that good stuff. So you absolutely want to have this. Go ahead and pull that up on your laptop, your computer, your tablet. And we're going to start in I'll tell you where we're going to start. And then if you want to dive even deeper, if you want to practice with me, you know, a lot of these workshops that I give, I give a lot of information. I don't hold back. I'm not going to water anything down. I'm going to give you tons of information. But a lot of people come to these workshops and they learn the information, but they don't actually put it to use. They don't actually practice it. So that is why I have created the self-care series, Sacred Sunday Space, and the Dark Art series. In those are my private self-care workshops. They're hosted through Zoom. They are through my Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and put that link there for you as well in case you would like to join. I don't do as much teaching. We actually engage in these practices. So if you're someone who really wants to dive deep, you know that you want to create that consistency, but perhaps you have a little bit of trouble with the discipline, you have a little bit of trouble making that time and space, I've already created that for you. So go ahead and join me. Some additional resources that I'm going to have. I'm actually going live a little bit late today because I was working on 2 Tonight, I am going to be launching an impromptu surprise guided meditation. I'm going to post it right after this workshop is over, and it is going to be a guided meditation that you can use before bed to help you improve your dream recall. You can use it anytime, but it's designed for you to use it in the bed as you are falling asleep. So that's going to be a supplementary practice that will assist you with the information and the techniques and tips that we're going to cover this evening. And then on Monday, I'm going to have an additional tutorial that will come for you. Okay. If everybody has got that, once you have your workbook and your pens, your papers, notebooks, tablets, everything you need pulled up, go ahead and drop me a number 8 in the comment section below. Once again, tonight, we're going to be talking about Dreamwork key skills. Last week, I gave you an introduction to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming for self-care and personal development. I taught you about a variety of dream states and different states of consciousness regarding dreaming and what they can be used for. That way, you can kind of figure out how you want to approach your own personal dreamwork practice. I know a lot of people are very interested in lucid dreaming and you want to become lucid in your dreams, and we're absolutely going to get there. But you definitely want to learn how to work with your non-lucid dreams. Some people may also want to use dream work for creativity. That's why I introduced the liminal states, hypnagogia and hypnopompia. And then also maybe people want to learn a little bit more about yoga nidra or the nidra state for relaxation and transformation. I include all of these in the gamut of dream work. So once again, that's why I wanted to introduce you to those practices so that you know at least their names and a little bit about them. That way you can pick what you want to do. Okay. So let me see, main content. We're going to go ahead and begin that now. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes. You all know I have tons and tons of notes. So what I want you to do is go ahead and write down in your notes key skills. Okay, write down in your notes key skills. Let me just make sure my microphone is working. What I want you, okay, it is. So write down key skills. I have 5 of them for you. And we're going to go through a variety of these today, this evening, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about each one. And of course, we're going to work on your dream recall. So that's the first one, dream recall. Number 1 is going to be dream recall. This is the ability to remember your dreams clearly and vividly. Of course, you know, if you don't have good dream recall, it's going to be very difficult for you to engage in dream work, no matter what type of practice you want to engage in. And once again, I know a lot of people are very interested in lucid dreaming, but if you can't remember your dreams, even if you do become lucid in the dream, you're not going to remember it, you know? So it is going to behoove you to go ahead and build upon this basic skill now, okay? And we're going to cover that, and we're going to start on page 6 with that. The next thing that you really want to develop is your intention. So that is key skill number 2, intention. Intention really revolves around your mindset, your perspective, and this trickles over into your habits. What happens during the dream? In the dream world, in the dream state, this is where the unconscious mind roams. This is where your unconscious mind is set free, and really your unconscious mind is a repository for your habits. What is controlling your non-lucid dreams? Since you're not lucid and you're not really in control of your actions, your habits are. So if you have a habit, for example, of not paying attention in the waking state, of not being mindful, of not being present, that's going to carry over into the dream state. That means you're going to be less likely to remember your dreams because you're literally not present during when they're going on. It's going to also mean that you're not going to be able to become lucid very well, because lucidity is basically remembering in the moment. We also talked about last time wake centricity and polycentricity, and these also come down to your habits and your intentions. So in order to shift towards dream work, in order to shift towards lucid dreaming, you absolutely want to develop your intentions, and this is also going to go along with fulfilling those dream goals. Your third key skill is going to be polycentricity. So I kind of just hinted on that. Wake centricity is the perspective that the waking state is the main state of consciousness or reality. And wake centricity, I mean, I'm in the United States, in the Western world. This is really our perspective. But what this does is it teaches you to devalue and de-honor your dreams. And this affects your dream work in a variety of ways. Because when you are not honoring your dreams, when you're not valuing your dreams, it makes it difficult for you to engage with them. So what I think about is when a child has a nightmare and they go tell their parent, I had a scary dream, and their mother or their father will say, oh, don't worry about it, it's just a dream, go back to bed. That perspective of it's just a dream kind of insinuates that it's not really going on. It's not a valid experience. It's not even worth paying attention to. So if you have that type of perspective, your brain is not really going to devote much of its energy towards remembering dreams, towards engaging with dreams, towards valuing your dreams. So you really want to shift towards that polycentricity and away from that wake centricity. Hello, TMS frequency. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Your fourth key skill is going to be meditation, and we're going to talk about that on page 8, and then also in the back end of the workbook in the resources section, you're going to find a link to a guided meditation that I suggest that you use, as well as on page 8, there's going to be a link to a study from the National Library of Medicine, and it explains on how increased meditation leads to increased lucid dreams. So, you're going to have that. And then your fifth key skill is going to be induction techniques. And induction techniques are covered on page 7. Well, there's an entire section for induction techniques, but induction techniques that you can begin using today or this week once you get this down, those are going to be located on page 7. Okay, give me just a moment. I was making some tea and it looks like it's ready, so I'm going to grab me a cup. In the meantime, let me see, I'm moving my microphone. In the meantime, if you don't have the workbook, I put that in the comment section. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people are trying to skip over the workbook. I would advise not doing that, especially if you're going to be coming here for the next 3 or 4 months. These techniques and these skills and what we're diving into is very nuanced. You're not going to be able to get everything if you don't have the material, if you don't have the practices, if you don't have the self-exploration exercises. It's $20, $22.22. It's cheaper than lunch. Don't skip out on yourself. Don't do that to yourself. So go ahead and grab that. I put the link in the chat section. While I'm grabbing some tea, you want to grab your workbook, pull it up on your laptop, on your tablet, on your computer, and then be in here on your phone, or you basically want to have 2 separate devices, and we're going to go through that. Okay, so give me just a moment. I'm going to grab some tea and then I'm going to be right back. Okay, let's get this thing rolling. Let me put my tea up here. It is piping hot. So let me get my notes pulled up and let's see, where are we going to begin? Once again, I have a lot of information to go through. So the first thing, let's talk about mindset and intention. Let's talk about mindset and intention. So let me tell you what page we are on. We're going to start on the second section under key skills, begins on page 6. Let me tell you the, okay. So go ahead and turn to the bottom of page 8. So go ahead and turn to the bottom of page 8. Mindset and intention. And we talked about this extensively in the intro workshop. And I'm going to place a link to that in the description box. But I have 5 aspects of mindset and intention. The first one is going to be sobriety. The second one is going to be meditation. So if you're taking notes and if you're following along, the first one is sobriety. I'm looking down here at my workbook and my notes. The second one is meditation. Number 3, we have inspiration. Number 4 is going to be motivation. And number 5 is going to be lightheartedness. So sobriety, you're going to find that right, the first one under right mindset. And sobriety is really important because we're dealing with the mind, and intoxication in various ways is going to affect your mind. So different things like THC, alcohol, other drugs, anything. This is going to decrease your ability to be in the moment. This is also going to severely affect your short-term memory as well as your long-term memory. And a lot of times being intoxicated suppresses that REM stage of sleep. So you'll find that if you are, intoxicated a lot of the time, then it's going to be very difficult for you to have good dream recall. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for you to enter the lucid dreaming state. So this is something that you definitely, want to get right in your mind and get right in your life, especially if that applies to you, okay? So go ahead and review that section on sobriety. Next, we have meditation. So once again, we have this study from the National Library of Medicine, and I'm going to read you a little bit from it. And if you want to follow along, this is going to be on the next page, page 9. And it says, let's see. In a study from Psychol Consciousness entitled Increased Lucid Dreaming Frequency in Long-Term Meditators, but not following MBSR training, researchers found that using a blinded randomized controlled design, we evaluate the impact of an 8-week mindfulness course on lucid dreaming frequency. Our results show that lucid dreaming is more frequent in long-term meditators compared to meditation-naive individuals. And they're specifically talking about mindfulness meditation. So remember, meditation is a very general term. There are lots of different types of meditations for different types of purpose, for different purposes. If you want to meditate and use that as a supplementary practice to increase your dream recall, to help you get lucid, to help you in dream work, then that is the practice that you want to be doing. And once again, in the back of the workbook in the resources section, I've already created a guided meditation specifically around mindfulness meditation that you can use every day. I would say do it once in the morning and once in the evening. In the evening, you want to do it within an hour of going to bed. So maybe while you're already in bed or when you're about to go to sleep, that is going to maximize its efficacy. Additionally, lucid dream frequency in meditation-naive individuals was associated with a capacity to verbalize experience, while lucid dream frequency in long-term meditators was associated with observational and decentering facets of trait mindfulness. So there is very much a difference between talking the talk and walking the walk. A lot of people are able to verbalize those experiences. They're able to intellectualize it, but that's different than actually integrating that into your body, integrating that into your being. When you practice mindfulness meditation, mindfulness means to bear something in mind. Typically, you're bearing an object of attention in mind, and it just helps you to remain present, focused, and in the moment, lucid. Mindfulness meditation truly is the practice of lucidity. So once you begin to get that down, it's going to be a lot easier for you to become lucid in the dream state. Okay? You have inspiration was our third aspect under mindset and intention. And we have motivation. So the difference between inspiration and motivation. For me, inspiration is an external energy. Oh, sorry. No, I got that wrong. Inspiration is an internal energy that drives you towards, a goal. So when you're inspired, that means that you have something deep inside of you that you wish to accomplish. And the energy, the momentum of that is driving you towards your goal. When you have motivation, that's an external energy. So I like to think about it as, you're younger, perhaps you're living with your mom, your dad, and they're telling you you need to wash the dishes before I get home or you're going to be in trouble. That is a motivating factor. It is something external to you. And the difference is typically with motivation, when that motivating factor has been removed, then you're going to slow down. You're not going to want to move forward. So it does drive you towards your goal, but it's not as powerful as inspiration. Okay. And regarding developing your inspiration and your motivation in relation to your intention, you're going to cover that in the homework that I'm going to give you for this evening. And then lightheartedness. Lightheartedness is very, very important because this practice can be stressful. Learning how to use your dreams, learning how to become aware in the dream state, learn how to become lucid in the dream can be quite stressful. But when you put that pressure and that stress on yourself, it literally shuts the brain down. So we want to have this aspect of lightheartedness and openness and playfulness, because that's going to encourage us to continue to engage with these practices, even when things aren't going the exact way that we want them to go. So let me read just a little bit from the workbook. This is on page 9. Lightheartedness is necessary because the path is long. You don't want to be too tight or too loose. You don't want to be so loose that you are relaxed, lazy, and nonchalant about your dream work or lucid dreaming. If you do that, then you're not going to make any progress. And you don't want to be so tight that you are frustrated with yourself when things don't go your way. Approach the practice of lucidity and dream work with some lightheartedness, joy, and fun, and this will allow you to remain balanced. Okay? So let's see. I think that's everything that we have regarding mindset and intention. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and drop those in the chat section. If you are watching this on the replay, you can go ahead and drop those in the comment section. I absolutely will answer those for you. The next thing that we want to cover, for our key skills in dream work, improving our dream recall, diving into lucidity, is preparing for sleep. Okay, let's talk about preparing for sleep and what you need to do there. So we call this sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is the practice of cleansing your mind, cleansing your body, and also your environment to make it easy for you to go to sleep. You need to have a good night's sleep. When we're talking about dream work for self-care, I mean, that's what that is. If you don't get good sleep, for one, you're going to be a stressed out mess. And two, it's going to make it very difficult for you to dream. If you're looking at the workbook, let me show you. Go ahead. We have a graph. Go ahead and turn to page 4 and look at the graph on the sleep cycles. Typically, people are going to be targeting that REM stage of sleep. Look at the top, okay? You have cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's pay attention to this red line and the yellow line. That red line at the bottom is that stage 3 sleep characterized by the delta brainwave state. This is that deep, dreamless sleep state. And this is when your body is healing. This is when your organs are healing. Your skin and wounds are healing. Your hair and nails are growing. This is when those short-term memories are being integrated into long-term memories. Your body is literally refreshing and revitalizing itself. And you'll notice at the beginning of the night, you have lots of deep stage 3 sleep. You have lots of stage 3 sleep. And then you look at the REM and it's just a little bit. As the night goes along, you have shorter and shorter stage 3 sleep, but you have longer and longer REM stage sleep. And the REM stage is where you're, once again, where you want to target those dreams. But if you are not getting that deep delta brainwave sleep, it's going to make it very difficult for you to get into the REM stage. So your brain is always going to balance itself out. Your body is always going to seek homeostasis and balance. So it's important for you to practice good sleep hygiene, so when you go to sleep, you can stay asleep so your body can feel refreshed, restored, renewed. And then at that point, it's going to bring you into that REM stage where you're going to have those, full-blown, fully immersive dreams. So let's talk about sleep hygiene. Let me tell you what page we're on, and I'm going to give you some tips. I know I have like 8 of them for you. Just in the interest of time, I don't think we're going to be able to go through them all. Go ahead and turn to page 5. It says sleep hygiene, and I'm going to read a little bit from the workbook. Sleep hygiene refers to what we are doing before we lay down and go to sleep. Daytime residue trickles over into the dream state. What you do before bed will influence your dream content. What you do throughout the day will also influence your dream content. If you're serious about doing dream work or practicing lucid dreaming, then sleep hygiene is essential. And here are some key points that you want to observe. So I have 8 of them for you in the workbook, but let's go ahead and talk about the first 3, okay? The first 3. Number 1 is going to be to sleep in a dark room. When you are in the dark, this is when the pineal gland secretes that melatonin. So a lot of people take melatonin in like the pill form or the capsule form, and that's okay for a short-term thing. I don't advise doing that long-term, because just like your other glands, when you start to supplement with certain hormones, the body's going to say, okay, well, we have a lot of that in the system, so I guess I'll just turn off the glands. So at that point, your pineal gland is not going to be working as efficiently as it could be. Melatonin tells the body, okay, it's time to go to sleep. It also lowers the body temperature so that you can go to sleep, and it also triggers the body for you to have those dreams. So you can buy some blackout curtains, black out the light in the room. I will also advise not having a TV in the room. You really want your room to be like your sanctuary. Your mind is going to associate different activities with different rooms and different places in your home. So if you're constantly doing work in your room, if you're constantly watching TV or on the computer in your room, then when you go into your room, your body isn't going to recognize, okay, it's time to rest and go to sleep and dream. It's going to say, oh, it's time to get up and get the party started. And so we want to be going to sleep. So you have a living room, you have a den, you have whatever. Put your TV in there and go in there when you want to watch TV and be exposed to that light. Otherwise, use your room for rest, sex, and dreaming, going to sleep. That way, once again, when you go in there and you go into the dark, your body is already unconsciously preparing itself for the adventure that you're going to be going through this evening. The next thing is you want to sleep in a cool room. What I like to do is maybe 2 or 3 hours before I go to bed, I'll go over to the thermostat and I'll begin lowering the temperature. So maybe I'll lower it 1 or 2 degrees, and then every hour I will lower it 1 or 2 more degrees. So by the time I'm ready to go to sleep, I have lowered the temperature between 3 and 6 degrees in the home. That's once again going to allow your body to rest a little easier, to dream and sleep. So, go ahead and do that. And the big thing is tip number 3, if you're following along on page 5, tip number 3, minimize electronic usage 1 to 2 hours before bed. Blue light signals to the brain to wake up. The blue light from TVs and computer screens will signal to your brain that it's not time to go to sleep yet. So if you go out in the morning, what I would suggest you do, if you go out in the morning outside right before the sun rises and watch. Look at your environment. Look at how the light looks in the environment, and you'll notice that there's a blue tint, a blue tinge to the light. This signals to the brain, okay, the sun is coming up. It is time to get active. It is time to do our daily tasks. So when you're constantly looking at the TV in your room, when you're constantly scrolling on your phone in the room, when you're constantly on your computer in the room, or before it's time to go to bed, it's infiltrating your brain with all of that blue light, and it's going to make it very hard for you to go to sleep. You know, it's a lot of people will scroll on their phones late at night. They scroll on their phones before it's time to go to bed, and then they complain that they can't go to sleep or they can't stay asleep. So there are a few different things that you can do. Many times on your phone or your computer or your TV, there's like a nighttime setting, and it will turn on and create like a orange filter over the screen. And if you know your color spectrums and the color wheel, orange is opposite of blue. So when you have that orange there, it's literally filtering out that blue light. So your brain is not receiving those signals, and it's not saying, oh, it's time to wake up. You can also, if you go on Amazon, they're like blue light blocking glasses. Some of them are orange, but they also have clear ones, transparent ones. So you could buy a pair of those, and maybe 1 to 2 hours before bed, just put them on and go around your house and still do whatever it is that you're doing. That's slowly going to filter out that blue light as well, help you improve that sleep hygiene. That way, when it's time for you to go in your room, it's dark, it's cool, your brain hasn't been exposed to all of that blue light, and it's going to be easier for you to go to sleep, easier for you to dream. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that? I've been just rolling with it. Let me scroll over here. Let me look over here on YouTube to see if I have any comments, any questions. Okay, I don't. Then you already know I'm going to just keep rolling through it. So if you do have the workbook, go ahead and review that section on sleep hygiene. There are about 5 more tips there for you to use that will allow you to, you know, get to sleep easier. Once again, you want to have a good sleep so you can have good dreams. And let's see what else we have. Next, let's talk about dream journaling. Let's talk about dream journaling. And I know that's what a lot of people came here for. Dream journaling is an excellent activity to improve your dream recall. It's not the only one, but it's the one that I would suggest you use for multiple reasons. Let me take a sip of my tea. Hopefully you all are following along and taking notes. And if you're watching this on the replay, once again, leave your comments, questions, experiences below. I will absolutely answer those for you. Dream journaling is going to allow you to improve your dream recall. The techniques that I'm going to give you this evening will take you from remembering absolutely 0 dreams to remembering 3, 4, 5 dreams a night, I would say within 1 to 2 weeks. So with consistent and diligent practice, you can do this. It's no problem. You can absolutely do this. Other than that, though, keeping a dream journal is going to allow you to have a repository of all of your dreams, because as we move forward over the next few months, people are going to once again want to become lucid. That's going to involve analyzing your dreams and figuring out patterns. People are going to want to, you know, do dream analysis and dream interpretation. That's going to be very difficult if you don't have those dreams written down, as well as creating dream goals for self-care and personal development and self-transformation. Your dream journal is going to be really your book of all of the material that you're going to be working with. It's going to reveal to you what's in your unconscious mind, your deep desires, your fears, your neuroses, all of that. So you definitely want to go ahead and grab a dream journal. I'll show you one that I have right here. Grab one, whatever one that works for you. I like hardbound dream journals. Mine typically have gold lined pages. Yours don't have to be like this, though. I know a lot of people who just use, you know, the composition notebook or a spiral notebook. I say pick whatever works for you. Pick materials that you like, because they're going to really draw your attention and make you want to come work with them. When you develop a dream work and lucid dreaming practice, Once again, going back to lightheartedness, we talked about that during mindset and intention. There are going to be times in life where your dream work practice is going to escape you. It's going to be very difficult for you to keep up with it. You're going to just have other things going on. You're going to be stressed out. But that's why I say develop a practice that also includes self-care and stress relief, but also develop a practice that, as I said, that calls to you. So that means that you develop these patterns, you develop these habits, and then when you get off balance, when you get stressed out, you're like, you know what? My meditation when I was doing dream work really did help me feel more relaxed and more calm, and it helped me release that stress, so I want to do that. Journaling about my dreams, that really did allow me to see what was going on in my mind, because right now I'm a stressed out mess, but I kind of don't know why I'm stressed out. So developing, a dream work practice that calls to you is going to help. And once again, keeping that dream journal is going to help you boost your dream recall. It's going to be a repository for all of your dreams and your memories and everything that's going on, so that you can analyze them and actually do the work. So let me give you a few tips, and let me tell you where we are in the workbook as well. Let's talk about dream. Go ahead and turn to page 7 for dream journaling, and I'm going to read a little bit. Dream recall is going to be the #1 skill that you will need. If you cannot remember your dreams, then you cannot do dream work, you cannot have lucid dreams, and you cannot practice dream or sleep yoga. The best thing that you can do in order to begin increasing your dream recall is to keep a dream journal. Each evening before bed, you want to prepare your dream journal, or perhaps even reread a previous night's dream. So once again, if you don't have those written down, if you don't have a dream journal, it's going to be very difficult for you. You want to set an intention to remember your dreams by telling yourself something like, the next time I wake up, I will remember my dreams. So we have some tips for you, and they're going to continue on from pages 7 to page 8, but let me give you some. So how to set up your dream journal. Let me open mine back up. And what you're going to do is open up to a blank page, and at the top of your page, I will always say write the date. So today is the 14th. I will write September 14th. So this is the night that I'm going to go to bed. So I know that these are the dreams that I had on the night of September 14th going into September 15th. So I always write the current date at the top of the page. I suggest also giving your dreams a title, a creative title, something short, something easy. After a while of doing this, after years of doing this, the titles are going to pile up. So don't be too attached to them. But once again, it is going to make it easier for you to locate those dreams, for you to go back and find them so that you can work with them. The next thing you do, so you have your date, you have your title. Then you're also going to write emotions. So you're going to write an emotion word or how you felt in the dream. You can write how you feel when you woke up, but if you are able to access that emotional content and how you feel during the dream, that is going to help you out, because later on I'm going to be showing you how to look for patterns. And in dream work, that's what you're going to be doing initially, looking for patterns. So you might want to, you could see, I have a lot of dreams about fear. I have a lot of dreams about love. I have a lot of dreams when I'm sad. And then you can say, okay, well, what is going on in my life? Because remember, the things that are going on in your daytime experience trickle over. They're called daytime residue, and they affect your nighttime experience. The habits that you have in the daytime trickle over and affect what's going on in your dreams and your unconscious mind. So you have your date, you have your title, you have your emotion. If you can't think of any emotion, I always say, like, maybe just label it as a genre, like a book or a movie, okay? Then skip a few lines. You can have some lines for notes, like if you take certain types of medications or if you did your meditation practice before bed, you may want to take just a few notes on what you did. That way, say once again you're working on lucid dreaming, you notice some nights you have lucid dreams, some nights you don't, and you're like, what am I doing different? What's going on here? You notice that some nights you're able to remember your dreams very easily, some nights you're not. What am I doing different? What's going on here? So once again, keeping those notes and keeping diligent notes in your dream journal is going to help you in a variety of ways. So then the next morning when you wake up, or even during the night when you wake up, because you may wake up multiple times during the night, you want to go ahead and write in your dream journal whatever you're dreaming of, whatever you have dreamt of. And the thing that often confuses people, and it's a good question, you may say, well, if I'm not remembering my dreams, how am I supposed to write down my dreams? Well, what you want to do is just write down whatever you can. In the beginning, especially if you're at that beginning stage where you're not remembering anything at all, it's just black, it's dark, that's fine. Write that down. All I saw was darkness. All I saw was black. And then rewrite your intention. But tomorrow, I intend to remember my dreams. Tomorrow, I will remember my dreams. If you only can remember, I dreamt about my mom, you see your mom's face, just write, I dreamt about my mom. And tomorrow, I will remember more details. Tomorrow, I will remember my dreams. Once again, if you wake up and all you have is a feeling of fear, maybe you feel like, did I have a nightmare? You know, I feel really scared. Then just write down, I feel scared when I woke up, or I think I had a dream about fear. Maybe I had a nightmare. But tomorrow, I will remember my dreams in more detail. And as you do this, I promise it's not even going to take that long. As you do this over time, it's not even going to take a week, 2 weeks, your dream recall skills will build. And especially if you're doing this when you wake up in the middle of the night. Now, I know this can be very difficult because you're a little groggy and you want to go back to sleep. If you can go back to sleep and remember all of your dreams, perfect, do that. But if you're able to wake up and just write down a few notes, maybe if you can't even write the full dream down because you really want to go back to sleep, just write a few little bullet points, and then that will trigger your mind when you wake up to be able to pull all of those details back in. Using this method, especially if you've gone through mindset and intention, if you have set yourself up with that good sleep hygiene, and then you're carrying it over into your dream journal, all of these things are gonna help you boost your dream recall. There are many nights now that I have so much dream material, I can't write it all down. I'm in the bed, giving myself extra time in the bed in the morning, trying to give myself time to write down those dreams, but it's too much. It's so much, which is completely different than people who are like, oh, I don't remember anything at all. You will be able to transition and get to that point. I promise. It will probably take between a week to 2 weeks if you do this diligently every night. So let's see. Going back over to the workbook. There are a few more tips that I have for you in the workbook. So pay special attention under the dream recall and dream journaling section about these 3 things. Write these down, okay, so you know what to look for. Body movement. You want to pay attention to the lines on body movement. Honoring the dream and thinning the veil. Pay attention to that section. And then your waking resolution. Doing these additional 3 things are absolutely going to help you boost your dream recall even more. So pay attention to the information on body movement, honoring the dream and thinning the veil, and your waking resolution. Okay? And then really quickly, I want to talk just briefly about induction techniques. We're not going to go into this really deep because we are going to do probably a whole workshop on that itself. But if you are someone who wants to dive into dream induction, you want to start playing around with lucid dreaming before we get there, then go ahead and turn to pages 7 and 8. Let me do that as well. Let's talk about what's on pages 7 and 8. So on pages 7 and 8, what you're going to be doing, I would advise at least waiting till you have about 10 dreams. So go through everything that we have covered so far, your motivation and your mindset, your sleep hygiene, and begin dream journaling, and try to get between 10 to 14 dreams, because induction techniques really hinge on being mindful, being present, and noticing the patterns in your dreams. So you absolutely want to do those things first. Okay, so there are 3 induction techniques that you can begin today, especially if you already have a dream journal. And I suggest, once again, I'm reading from my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. I suggest having between 10 to 14 dreams. Go through them, analyze them, and use those techniques on pages 7 and 8 because they will boost your dream recall. These will also help you shift your mind from that wake centricity to polycentricity. Once again, wake centricity means that you really approach reality and dream work and from the perspective that the waking state is reality and that the dream state is not reality. I would not suggest doing that because it's going to make it very difficult for you to engage in dream work, especially later on when you are ritualizing your dreams, or this means creating goals in the waking state that come from the dream state so that you can affect your life. Then a more advanced practice is taking that backwards, taking things that you want to do in the waking state and developing goals that you will engage in the dream state. Most of those will be lucid dreams, because in lucid dreaming, that's when you're able to really control your dreams. And in the dream state, once again, this is where the unconscious mind roams. So in the lucid dream state, you have conscious access to the unconscious mind. So you can go in there, engage in those goals that you rehearsed and developed in the waking state in the daytime in order to effectively change your unconscious mind, to release long-held beliefs, to change your belief systems, to heal traumas, to create goals, even to engage in shadow work. And a lot of people think that the shadow is like this evil place filled with dark, nasty things, or the things that you are hiding. And that is true. But most of the shadow state is what's called the golden shadow. So it contains things that can really help you in your life. So what I kind of think of what's coming to my mind is, say you grew up in a very pragmatic family, but naturally you were a creative child. But every time you did something creative, your family would always tell you, you need to get your head out of the clouds. You need to stop daydreaming. You need to go to school so you can get a law degree, or so that you can learn accounting, or so that you can learn business. And they shamed you for this. They shamed you for your creative aspects. They shamed you for your creativity. We know that the shadow realm of the psyche is where we push those repressed aspects of ourselves. So say in our example, that's what happened. And you decided, okay, I need to repress all types of creative aspects of myself, all types of creativity. Those go into the shadow. So that's not something negative or something nasty. But when you are able to engage in shadow work, then you can make contact with those lost parts of yourself, those repressed parts of yourself. So then you can reclaim those creative aspects, and that will absolutely change your relationships, change your work, change everything that's going on in your life. So through induction techniques and through creating goals and ritualizing your dreams, whether you're going from the dream state to the waking state, or whether you're going from the waking state to the dream state, those are things that can actually really, really change your life and help you with your personal development and self-transformation. But let me see, where did I end up? Okay, so these will help you shift your mind from wake centricity to polycentricity, making decisions and honoring your dreams, as well as thinning the veil between the waking state and the dream state, allows the brain to give more energy towards remembering and engaging with your dreams. The brain will filter out anything it feels is not helpful or important to the moment in order to conserve its energy for vital functions. So once again, if you don't value your dreams, if you're not taking the time, the effort, the energy to dream journal and really try to push yourself to remember your dreams, your brain is going to say, okay, well, that's not important, so I'm not going to even waste my time, my attention, or my energy in trying to help them remember their dreams, okay? As you begin to engage in dream work, it shows the brain that remembering and engaging with your dreams is important, so it will naturally give more of its energy to help you do so. That's really everything that I have for us this evening, but I do want to give you some homework. If you are following along in the series, once again, if you catch this on the replay, if you're going to be here for the next 3 to 4 months, then what I want you to do is go ahead and let me tell you what the homework is. On page 8, there are some fill in the blank questions right there at the top. And you want to do those after you get about 10 dreams. Once again, get about 10 dreams down, review the information on page 7, and then on page 8, go ahead and do those first 2. Scroll on down, and then you have some self-exploration questions. At the beginning of this session, we talked about motivation and inspiration and how helpful they can be, and that's going to be different for everyone. In the Intro to Dreamwork and Lucid Dreaming workshop that we did last week, once again, I introduced you to a variety of states of dreaming so that you can figure out what it is that you want to work with and why. And these questions are going to help you dive deeper into that. So go ahead and do the self-exploration questions so you can develop your own intentions, your own motivations. And you see, little by little, once again, I'm inching you towards it. Little by little, I'm inching you towards creating your own dream work practice from the ground up, something that's inspiring and motivating and meaningful to you. Creating a dream work practice that's also going to help you release stress. Creating a dream work practice that will allow you to transform your life. And that's going to be different for everyone. So you want to figure out what that is for you. So go ahead and do those self-exploration questions on page 9 and the one at the top of page 10. Okay. Once again, after this workshop is over, I'm going to save it. I'm going to update the caption, the description box with all of the resources. You absolutely want to go ahead and grab that Dreamwork workbook. It actually contains, the bundle contains 2 workbooks that we're going to be working from. And then also I'm going to be dropping a surprise meditation tonight, before bed meditation, to help you increase your dream recall. It's not a mindfulness meditation technique, but it's still one that I would advise that you engage in, okay? It's going to actually help you out. You can do it before bed, you can do it anytime, but try it out before bed consistently over time and see, especially if you're beginning your dream journaling practice to boost your dream recall, try combining that meditation. Let me tell you what it's going to be called. I think it's going to just be called the Ultimate Before Bed Meditation for Dream Recall. And I'm going to include a link to that in the description box, okay? But try engaging with that meditation and doing the dream journaling practices that we have outlined today and see how that affects your dream recall. If you have any questions, comments, experiences, go ahead and drop those in the comment section below, the caption section. If you follow me on Instagram, you can send me a DM and I will be here to assist you and help you out, okay? I'll see you back here next Thursday. I'm actually going to be going live at 6 p.m., not 7, because I have my own personal. Discover the Lexus GX with its available off-road. I have my own personal class that I am going to be attending at 7 p.m. So I'm going to be here a little bit early, okay? So I hope that you all enjoyed this. Hope that you got a lot of information and tips from it, and I will see you next week.